Soil, water, air and fire in complex form are bases of life. The floods, water and life have connectivity since the times immemorial in Judeo-Christian and Islamic theology. The floods, rains and water are linked with revivification, chastisement and scourge of God the Almighty. As far as Nile Delta Egypt floods were associated with the renewal of land fertility, every year Osiris, the vegetation god, come with floods of Nile, spreading the happiness and joy. Shiva perhaps knew that water is destroyer. As per Hindu mythology, ganges flow out of its mated hair. The water is great balancing force which keeps the expectation of life alive on the strange planet called the Earth and conserves its greenery. But man's rat race to have full control over the resources of nature devoured the planet beyond measure. Another factor reminds of confused ignorance and human arrogance about which the religious parables are found in various holy scriptures like Noah's deluge, Ad's, the Sumerian destruction, and several such like incidents of ancient times. The jagged peaks of recent birth out of the great erosion plate colliding with each other, creating big landmass in the form of high peaks and tall mountains. Christian Himalayas, a place in South Asia, source for 12 large rivers of world flowing through the subcontinent, which continue the natural course with pristine agility, partially untouched by human advancements. In 1947, when India was partitioned into two new countries, India and Pakistan, evolved unfortunately or on the default mode of confrontation since last 67 years. Tragically, Kashmir became the fulcrum of friction, ignoring the collective will of people living in Jammu and Kashmir. Kashmir, on account of its geography and demography, became base of continued confrontation and conflict between the two countries and pushed them to three conventional wars. Now the contention for river waters, despite signing Indus Water Treaty on 19th September 1960 at Karachi, Pakistan, presently reached to extent of almost a war between the two separate cousins, India and Pakistan. New Delhi began to control 76 km long Siachen Glacier situated between Ladakh, Skardu from 13th April 1984 through Operation Meghdoot with reference to NJ 9842 point of Salto Ridge in advance with 1978 map showing Siachen as a part of Pakistan by some Japanese mountain climbers. In response, Islamabad too moved her forces up to Gayari, situated in Gilgit-Baltistan. This kind of militarized activities on both sides by India and Pakistan resulted into the shrinking of glacial ice, its absorption capacity. What both are doing, one fails to understand, but effects in terms of environment will be observed with full consequence of negativity. The main source of rivers in Kashmir, which includes Kolai Glacier, supplying water to Lidr stream, one of the tributaries to River Jhelum, has receded by 20 to 30% till point of time, while as longest glacier Siachen has receded by 30% till now. The global warming, rising temperatures, the fastly receding glacial ice increased the frequency of extreme weather conditions besides flash floods.
Never a phenomenon where what is happening in the glaciers and in the downstream area is so closely linked.
The huge debris, like the debris size of 20-meter boulders, 50-meter boulders sometimes, and a lot of silt and sands and all this mud coming down. It will just cover the land and you cannot recover it for generations.
The floods of 2010, which devoured Pakistan's Sindh province, raged in anger. 2011 was another year of disaster, and in 2012 again the Sindh roared, while as the floods of 2013 washed away some hilly areas of Uttarakhand, India, and submerged various parts of Pakistan. Floods of 2014, dismay for Kashmir and Pakistan. Kashmir Valley in general and South Kashmir and Central Kashmir in particular. Srinagar city was washed and lashed by record-breaking floods since 1902. On 4th and 5th September 2014, South Kashmir, while as on 6th and 7th September 2014, Srinagar reeled under heavy floods, along with Poonch, Rajouri of Jammu province. In observation of Sir Lawrence, a famous historian and the settlement commissioner of Kashmir in the Maharaja's times, quotes, "Ultimately, snow and floods are two monsters of Kashmir who destroy its economy." Jhelum River, locally called Veth or Vitasta, the cultural identity and lifeline of Kashmir Valley, rose against expectation, raising hubbles of water and whirling inside the houses. The water logged inside the summer capital of Jammu and Kashmir, creating havoc, damaging property worth billions and claiming hundreds of precious lives. The ablest people were shattered and nerves loosened to save the lives, leaving everything behind. The floods unleashing terror, creating insecurity and gasping for one's life. The might of Chenab, Jhelum, even Neelam or Kishanganga was beyond measure, swanning across the paddy fields, houses and washing off the men and livestock. In spite of passing a landmark legislation commonly known as Disaster Management Act 2009, in 2014, state of Jammu and Kashmir having 11,000 million Indian rupees, a satisfactory financial base, but sarcastically, government failed to raise grassroots level community structures in urban, suburban and rural areas, which could have acted as a catalyst for minimizing the damage caused by floods. Youth of Kashmir who braved the floods and expressed the paradigm of voluntary zeal and managed to rescue thousands of people caught in the dangerous floods. Although Indian security forces took active part in the rescue and relief operation, pushing all of their resources without any doubt, it is also true that the army of any country is always trained to tackle the worst or ugly situations like war or disasters. Even Indian Prime Minister visited Kashmir and declared the floods almost a national disaster, and appealed his countrymen to support the people of Jammu and Kashmir in the hour of need. It is estimated that 2 million people have been affected by floods of 2014 in Jammu and Kashmir, and state incurred an approximately loss of 60,000 million Indian rupees for infrastructural damage. Now, shall these kind of calamities continue or reach to an end? It is a million-dollar question which needs a structured and sensible answer. The suggestions come all around, like demilitarization of Siachen Glacier and other such like places as a part of confidence building measure to lessen the wide trust deficit prevalent between India and Pakistan. It is also a matter of fact that Siachen is having geopolitical, ecological and strategical dimensions. In addition, India and Pakistan turned nuclear countries on 11th and 28th May 1998, posing a potential threat to the whole South Asia. Furthermore, encroachments made on the natural course of water streams is also regarded as one of the contributing factors for the floods in Kashmir, and the Sumagri approach applied by heads of concerned departments and to grip the environmental activists like flood control, irrigation. But let's hope and keep the capital of cooperation and coordination in circulation at micro and macro level. It is of course the hope which moves mighty Himalayas. It is the hope which jumps across continents, and it is the hope which steers through the oceans and importantly give life a meaning.